Oh, yeah. Welcome to How Can She Snap? This is a Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthy casual. I'm the kid back from Europe, ready to talk to the filthy casuals with il mio fratello, signore.
No big dealio.
No, a big dealio here. We have some Italian flavor for you. We're both Italian, so anyways, I'm back. I'm gonna pretend to know what I'm doing here. I forget what the fuck I did. I don't know what the hell happened this last 3 weeks. Everything fucking changed. It was nuts. The podcast is still alive and well. No big deal. Held it down. I don't know. We're gonna have a shorter episode today because our work schedules are kind of crazy. But we're gonna talk about Arana. We're gonna talk about the new cards. There's brand new meta. Everything's changed. You can pretty much play anything, it feels like. And they snuck a little patch in there a few days ago, so we're gonna go over that. And hey, let's get it boom. TheKiD. No big deal. How the hell are you, man?
I'm good, man. It's good to have you back. You know, we got a European kid, Mr. Worldwide. He's back. Yeah. I'm fired up. Shout out Stanky Kang and J-Base Kelly for holding it down the last couple weeks. Couldn't have done it without those guys. The Filthy Casual Alliance came through. I just literally went into my Alliance chat and said, hey, who wants to be on the pod? So it worked out. The boys came through, and but it's good to have you back, kid. I'm fired up, and it's a beautiful metagame, beautiful week of Marvel Snap. I had a lot of fun playing Marvel Snap this last week. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I kind of been like following from periphery because I've been traveling around like all of Europe, with Italy, Greece, and then Amsterdam. And just so people don't know, me and No Big Deal are actually like full-blooded Italians. Our parents like born there. Grandparents literally came on the boat. So before anyone gets mad about my stupid Italian accent, bro, I'm the motherfucking Italian. All right,
Our mom came off. Our mom's off the boat. Actually, she was born.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she's literally born there.
Yeah.
Back to the motherland. But yeah, I've been following from the periphery, and it was like, dude, so much shit happened. I'm like, holy fuck! Like, I want to start playing these cards, and I'm like, but I'm traveling around, I can't. But like, and then like these fucking updates come out, and I'm like, holy shit! So on some of my travel, I actually did get to listen to both the pod episodes. They were awesome, and like you said, shout out to Stanky Kang and J-Base. It was really entertaining, and I loved it, man. It was great. But man, let's get down to business here, business.
Well, I mean,
what do you think?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say to your point. I still haven't gotten everything, and I like wasn't in Italy. Like, I'd like to play some Black Swan bounce, like I'd like to do that. But my God, I mean, there's so much like awesome shit to play right now. I still haven't got there, So yeah, we'll see. I mean, yeah, we get into it for sure.
It's nuts, and I'm starting to get back into like the work grind too. So I'm like, I wanted to play more. I'm like, oh man. So it's like there's so much shit, and even like last week's OTA, or the last OTA where there was like 5,000 things that changed. Like, I think I read that once, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And like, I don't remember half the shit that happened in it. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have to go back and look at it.
There's some strange changes in the last.
Yeah, there was. You and J-Base broke it down really good last week, so it was good. But I mean, this week we got Arana. This card I was pretty hyped for. And just when the season started, we can go over like quickly my thoughts on all the cards because I haven't talked about any of them. Symbiote Spider-Man, man, I've seen some hate on this card online. I don't know why. I fucking love that card.
Yeah,
that card's so much fun and single-handedly revived the Phoenix Force Revolution, I think. Initially, the Phoenix Force Discord has been just popping off this whole month. Jet's back. J-Mac made a Nimrod deck. Everyone's building different Phoenix Force decks. I'm fucking fired up. Played SGL this week. Actually won with Phoenix Force, like a new Phoenix, kind of newish Phoenix Force build with Arana, and like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm trying to learn the deck. I'm like, if I lose, whatever, but like beat a hella gamer. Arana was like Jet's most hyped card, and throwing this in the Phoenix Force deck has been hilarious. Symbiote Spider-Man, love that card. Silver Sable, I haven't got her yet because like I'm like, man, I'm not. I'll just buy her with tokens if I really want to later, but like I haven't had the chance to play too much, so I didn't. I'm like, if I want a bounce deck, I'll just buy her. But she seems to be a pretty sick card.
Yeah.
Even probably non-bounce, she seems pretty good. Just like a good fucking one drop.
Yeah, she's very good. Yeah.
And Madam Web, again, I played just minimally with her, but Madam Web seemed fun as hell. I don't know how good she is, but I think she's pretty decent. I think people are underrating her a little bit. I think there's going to be some decks in the future where we're going to be like, holy shit, Madam Web busted. I played some like random lockjaw stuff with her too, which was hilarious.
Mhm.
Because you just like move lockjaw out of the lane, you can move other big cards out of the lane, and just like play. So that was pretty cool. So I think she's a really really cool card. Um, and then Aranya this week, I'm loving this card.
Mhm.
What do you think about Aranya? This card's sick. I love this card.
I think it's a really good card. Maybe close to broken, honestly. Like it's like right on the edge. I think Jake Kelly summed it up pretty good last week, where he said basically once upon a time there was a card named Forge, who was a one drop that gave your next card +2, and yeah, look what happened to him. So that card was busted and had to get nerfed. And this card not only gives you +2, but it's whenever you want, and you get a move to the right. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty disgusting. So I mean, I love this card. Like, I hope they don't nerf it because he's really fun. Or she, I don't know. I don't know what Aranya is. I don't know the.
It's a
the
she, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but I mean, I hope they don't nerf it because
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun. I like playing it on Nimrod. I like that you could play it with Shuri and Nimrod, and obviously in move, it's absolutely ridiculous. So like this phenomenal card. Great job by the design team as always. I mean, the cards this month are so fun. Like, at least you could say that. Like, people are salty about the power level of Symbiote Spider-Man, but it's like, it's such a cool and fun card. Like, let's relax a little bit. All right. Like, this card like revived Galactus from like total obscurity. Like, people like unironically played Galactus this month because of Symbiote Spider-Man. And so like this is like sweet card design. We got another sweet card design coming out next week. I mean, it's just this whole month is all bangers. The meta's lit. I'm fired up, kid.
Yeah, this is great. Like Aranya, they better not nerf her. This is like that'd be fucking bullshit if they did. But like, so I know I didn't get to talk about this either when they completely fucking ruined Taskmaster, those
Yeah.
assholes. And just like, man, I was so depressed after that because I'm like, man, what's gonna happen with Phoenix Force? Like, we need the Deadpool second line. Like, Deadpool is getting cut at the beginning, and then like this card, for Jet, some people are still running it without Deadpool. But this card brought back the Deadpool cope because you can just like play Deadpool and then you get a 1/6 basically, with this card. Deadpool becomes a 1/3, destroy it once, and a 1/6 is pretty damn good just to throw down somewhere. So, just extra power that you can put along. It's I don't think they'll nerf her. Like, the way the power creep is now, like, it's not like, I don't think she's broken. Like, a 1/1 kind of is like, you're still playing a 1/1 on the board.
I haven't checked like recently, but Silver Sable probably has better stats than this card.
I would.
So yeah, Silver Sable is like 58 win percent rate when I checked, and Madam Web is like 50. So
Yeah,
I would
Rania, I think,
imagine
is a little
Aranya
bit
is closer to Madam Web than
Yeah.
Silver Sable.
I think she's just more specific too, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't think you just throw her in any deck. Whereas, like, I think Silver Sable, you can literally just throw in any deck
yeah.
and have a good one drop,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the move stuff's popping off too. I'm so happy move is back. There's so many good move lists. We're gonna be talking about a couple of them, but yeah, they've been, this month has just been just banger after banger after banger.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Do you think Symbiote Spider-Man needs a buff? Like, I think he's okay.
I think
doing
he's
all right.
fine. I don't know, man. Maybe people like they think, oh, the season pass has to be good. I'm not part of that team. I don't think they should be putting out fucking Loki like every month. I think that's a joke if they do that. So
Yeah.
I think they put out a really good and fun and cool, interesting card. Dude, I played a Wakanda list for the first week of the season. Like, I unironically was playing Okoye and Nakia. Very easy trip to infinite with Okoye and Nakia in my deck. Because when those cards hit, if you buff Symbiote once, like a 4/7 Symbiote's like actually disgusting. Like, like you just need to get +1 on it, and then you double that, then you double it again, and it's like, okay, like you're really popping off. So I don't know, man. I don't think they need to buff it. I think it's good. I like that it's activate. You slam it on 4. I don't know. I don't know what people are complaining about. I said going into the season, Glazer made us do the survey to rank the cards. And as far as like which cards are going to be good, I did have Symbiote last because I just thought the combos would be like so specific, and all the other cards are just like really good on their own. but that doesn't mean that it's a bad card, and that doesn't mean that they should buff it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, the beginning, I saw all the Black Panther stuff, which was really really cool.
Yeah.
Heimdall made it into the Phoenix Force list, where you could Symbiote Spider-Man in the Phoenix Force list was pretty cool at first. Again, I didn't get to play these too much. I want to play them more, but like you put Symbiote Spider-Man, like even if you don't get the multiple man with Phoenix Force, you don't destroy it. You have Symbiote Spider-Man down on 4. You play multiple man on 5. Activate. Use something like Doctor Strange. You can move it. Then Heimdall, and you're getting all these huge like symbiote Spider-Mans all over the place, and it's
it'd be like 9 power. It's like 9 power, right?
Yeah, and 9 power. And if you like Doctor Strange and Heimdall, you're like 9 power going everywhere. It's pretty sweet. You actually get like a lot of power. And there was some like Ghost Spider. You can even Aranya too, right? There were some Ghost Spider bugs, but I think they did do a hotfix on Ghost Spider last week or something, because like she wasn't working with all that stuff.
When we get to Owl's deck, because I think he built around that on his brewing.
Yeah, and so I kind of really just love what they're doing with this month. It's been a ton of fun. The limited amount that I've played, the Black Panther stuff was hilarious. Galactus stuff is hilarious.
It's pretty good too. Like it's pretty tough to deal with. Like it's a lot of power.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say I somehow managed to like hit infinite. I don't know how. Just playing like a couple games every morning, like before my wife woke up. I gotta wake up a little bit before her, and just like I'd be laying in bed, and just like before we got out of bed, I'd just play a couple games here and there. And like somehow, I was pissed about the Sandman change, because like my bread and butter to like when I don't want to like think too much is like to go to infinite. It's just to play like a Sandman Ultron, because the bots don't fucking know what the hell you're doing, and so you Sandman and you Ultron, and then sometimes people don't.
I'll say it's pretty good against humans too.
Yeah, it's like 8 cubes is like you just easily get 8 cubes. And then when they nerf Sandman, I'm like, damn it! Now I'm gonna have to like do some real shit.
That was one of the weird changes from last week. Yeah, strange Sandman nerf for sure.
That was pretty odd. I didn't think it was a huge problem. Maybe I was part of the problem. Maybe that's why. But yeah. So yeah, I somehow hit infinite, and then I'm just happy because I can just dick around with all these like Phoenix Force decks, and yeah, it was good. What do you think of the meta so far? Like you've probably played a hell of a lot more than me.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been changed. You've been gone for 3 weeks. It's changed every week. So the way I look at it is, I like just upfront, I love the meta right now. I honestly think it's the best we've had since before Arasham came out, in my opinion. When Arasham came out, the first week was really fun because we were all just playing Arasham and having a great time. But it quickly degenerated into Doc Ock, Leech, and I think since then the meta's been not very good. I've liked some of the decks, but just objectively, like the Arasham was so strong, and it's like you're playing Arasham or you're playing some Thena bullshit or Clog or whatever, and there wasn't like a lot of decks you could play, because you would just get like just basically outpowered by the Arasham stuff, and they're just cheating, right? They're cheating power, and it wasn't fun. But I actually think with all these new changes, Arisham's actually in a pretty good place now. Arisham's extremely beatable with all of the top decks in the meta right now. So I think it's really great, but it's definitely a polarizing meta. Like we talked about this about a year ago, kid. We went through top 5 all-time cards in the game. I had Storm as my number 1. Now she's been hit a lot since I said that. Nocturne's come out, Legion's come out, Magic got moved to 3. She's had a lot of problems so she's not still my favorite card, but War Machine Lockdown's really good. And then my number 2 card was Hela. So for me, it's like fucking Christmas. Like I'm loving life right now. Yeah. Like I get to play Lockdown and I get to play Hela. And then for you, I mean, Phoenix Force is like awesome right now. Like people who don't even play Phoenix Force are just playing Phoenix Force. Like I see Alex Kocha, he's like spamming Phoenix Force games. Like it's wild, man. He plays like really casually. So like Phoenix Force is all the way back. Hela's here. Lockdown's awesome right now. Lockdown's my favorite deck right now. So I think and Junk's really good still, and Arisham's still good, and the Athena, Wiccan, Big Dick Wick, all this stuff is still actually really good. So I think there's like 7 decks you could reasonably play at a really high level, and to me that's a sign of a healthy meta. But if you don't like Hela and you don't like Lockdown, and you don't like Junk, you don't get like in Clog, then you're gonna have a bad time. So that's
Yeah.
that's how I feel about the meta right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like the limited time I've been playing, like I definitely run into a lot of Hella. We were talking about from the Phoenix Force. I'm just gonna talk about the Phoenix because I just been like trying to just delve into this new Phoenix Force, and there's a lot of other decks I want to play, but I'm like, man, I'm having so much fun with this fucking new Phoenix Force and trying different things. We're talking about cutting Human Torch, but Human Torch is so good against Hella that like if you torch, and then we added Zola to the list. A lot of them never had Zola.
Yep.
Like Jets version, just like you torch Zola, like Hella is fucked. There's nothing they can do about that. So it's like extra power that you kind of need versus Hella. And then like once Hella starts getting toned down, then we start adding in like more tech cards. But yeah, like I played against a lot of Wiccan people. Pretty good. Pretty seems like a pretty sweet deck still.
Yeah,
RSM seems pretty good still, but not like oppressive. Like I'm beating RSM, like I'm losing to some RSM. On the way up to Infinite, I was playing a lot of like you showed me that War Machine list that you had that you could. I think you talked about it last week.
Yeah.
Like the JJ Rolk Iceman War Machine, that deck was fucking fun. First game I played, I got the combo. Remember I sent you the screenshot? First game, the Storm Legion. I was like, yes.
That's my favorite deck right now. Yeah, I'm still playing it nonstop. I can't stop.
I honestly don't think War Machine's broken. I think I think it's completely fine. Like
I think it's good. I think it's a good card. I don't think it's broken either. I think it's very good though.
Yeah. The new War Machines are really, 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 really fun.
Yeah.
And those decks are okay. And I guess maybe because I'm playing Phoenix Force, I don't care if they War Machine storm me because I fuck them either way.
Yeah. Especially multiple man's auto loss. But you could beat a Torch gamer. But yeah, if you get multiple man, it's over for his lockdown.
Yeah. Lockdown decks are back. There's a ton of shit you can play, man. It's crazy. And even like the ongoing or like the on reveal stuff, like Wong combos, like I've seen those, like just even unironically, like I've just played a conquest match this morning and someone was playing like the Wong White Tiger, Odin kind of stuff. And
probably Nomura. That's probably Nomura in there too.
Yeah, I didn't see Nomura. Maybe they had Nomura and I just didn't, we're sticking around in proving grounds.
Yeah, or low collection level, who knows?
Yeah. And it seemed to do pretty well.
I see Destroy. I see a lot of Destroy too. That's another one.
Yeah, Ica was playing. I had played a lot of his deck going up. He had like a kind of like a deck that he made a long time ago with like kind of like a Zoo Destroy with Mockingbird.
Okay. Played against that.
You know that one? Yeah.
I played against it. Yeah, I didn't know it was like but yeah, I've played against that a couple times. Yeah.
Ica made that a few months ago. Like literally a few months ago I think when Mockingbird first came up. And so I actually, funny enough, I had it already in my collection, the deck already built. He like reposted. He's like, just been playing this, and I think grinded like what was it, top 100, top 10 or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is the list I'm playing. And he's like, it's doing really good. I'm like, oh, this list is back. I'm like, let me play it. And that's what got me to Infinite. It's just like a Zoo. I think we can go over it after, but it's just like a Zoo kind of list where you try and get Mockingbird out early. Then you Killmonger all your shit, and then you play Death and Null in the end, and no one knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Well, I remember the deck name. It's a good deck name. To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, yeah, was that it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the the literature, piece of literature there. To Kill a Mockingbird. It's a good deck name. Destroying the Mockingbird.
It was great. No, you don't want to destroy the Mockingbird. But
it works with the the bars.
Yeah,
it's the bar. Bars.
But yeah, so I personally like the meta right now. From what I've been playing, the Hella stuff isn't bothering me too much because I'm beating them a lot of the time. So I guess that's not But if you don't like Hella, like you're gonna fucking hate this meta right now. But
that's what it is. Like it's very polarizing. See, me, I've only played Hella for like maybe 1.5 days because I've been having so much fun with War Machine Lockdown. And the Hella list is like the one everybody's playing. It's like, okay, I've been playing this shit for years. It's the same fucking deck that it's been, it's the same Hella deck, Giganto, Infinite, like it's just the same cards, like whatever, So I already know what it's gonna feel like playing that deck, so it's fine. I don't like need to play it. So I've been messing around with some different Hella builds, but I also don't mind playing against it because I've played so much Hella. So I have no issue. Like there's again, if you're struggling against Hella, stack power on 2 lanes. Like that's the main way you combat them. You'll say, oh, there's no counter. They can't control where their cards go. There's no Doctor Doom in that deck. There's no Captain Marvel like there used to be back in the day in that deck. So they are going to have a bunch of random cards. If you strategically stack your cards, try to guess where the most power is going to be. Put most of your power there, and then hard commit to one other lane. Don't spread your power out. You spread your power out against a Hella deck who's discarded 4 or 5 cards, you're fucked. You're getting it fucked every time. So don't do that. And that's how you beat Hella. Also, there's a bunch of other cards in the game. Darkhawk, Cosmo, Cosmo Jean Grey, all this bullshit. That can, or
Yes.
you do some discarding stuff. Spider Ham, stuff like this. Iceman. But yeah, so yeah.
Probably Leech too. Like if you're playing Arsham, throw Leech in your deck. Like
there are people doing that. There are people playing Leech.
Not a bad idea. Like
it's tricky though. The deck runs Infinite, so it is a little tricky that way. Because Leech now hits Infinite. Confirmed.
Yeah.
It's happened to me. So I won a game doing that. I wasn't playing a Hella though. I was playing War Machine as Infinite in that deck. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, and like you said too, like Clog is good against Hella. And
that's probably the number one counter would be Clog. Yeah,
Rock Slide and like Korg throwing rocks in their deck. But they're pretty consistent now. Some Hella decks are even running Blink and Jubilee both, like just to get the Hella. So it's pretty damn consistent.
That's the Husky Puppies special right there. Blink and Jubilee.
Yeah. And like you were saying before, a point I wanted to bring up. Yeah, all these motherfuckers are playing Phoenix Force now. Even Glazer made a Phoenix Force video. He came on the Phoenix Force Discord and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna use this deck or whatever to jet." He's like, "What list you running?" And I'm like, "Man, like I kind of like when Phoenix Force is like a deck no one really plays and just like a surprise. Like if everyone knows what we're doing, like we kind of get fucked. Like, some lists are running Tribunal. People are playing around that. I even saw Huskies play. He was playing Phoenix Force the other day too on stream.
I actually played a bit, kid. Day one of Arana, I threw up my own brew. Obviously, it's not even close to as good as Jets or whatever, but I went Arana Zola as well. I did Nimrod as well, but I figured Zola, works with 14 power Nimrod or Human Torch, right? So you kind of got the option, and Symbiote Spider-Man in that deck too. So you get like a 20 power Nimrod even. So.
J Mac had a great list. He got one right away, like with Symbiote Spider-Man. He had the new Atuma with Symbiote Spider-Man and Nimrod in a Phoenix Force list. It was pretty fun list. He got the Infinite day one with that, and I mean he posted that. It was a fun list to run for a little bit. But yeah, I mean I'm not too upset about the meta. I kind of like it right now. I feel like there's a lot of different decks that you can play. Bounce even too, like. People are playing Bounce, man. Bounce is a list we didn't talk about.
I think it's still very good. Yeah, when I play against it, it's scary.
Beast is good. They made Beast a 3/5. Beast is still good. I think in a lot of circumstances, arguably better. Like he's a 3/5. Like those are 6 stats. Like come on.
Yeah, I think he's worse in Bounce and Move personally, like quite a bit.
Yeah, for now until what's the other one that comes out?
Toxin. But I don't think you're going to be play Toxin in a Bounce and Move like a Madam Web.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, it's just the move stuff now. Bounce will evolve. Geo will make something, and
Bounce will be crazy when Toxin comes out. I mean, that deck's going to be insane when because just with Black Swan now, the new Black Swan. Do you want to talk about the Black Swan, kid?
What I want to talk about first of all, actually, you want to talk about the patch right now? We can talk about the patch.
Yeah, just the patch came out Tuesday, I think, right?
Yeah.
So we're recording like Sunday.
Let's do that because I do want to call you out on something as well.
Oh, the Hellcow? Hellcow blunder? Yeah,
yes.
I fucked up. I know. Look, it was my first time.
I heard you with Stanky Cam. I'm like, Stank. I'm like, bro, Hellcow activates fucking sick. I was listening to you and I wanted to slap you through the screen.
Dude, it was my first time hosting, all right? I was doing my best, all right? I never hosted the pod before. All right, I somehow forgot about Hella. I can't believe it. No, I was going to call myself out, so that's fair. You go ahead. You call me out.
No, you can. It's fine. We'll talk about the patch real quick because before we start talking about decks and stuff, we should talk about this kind of stuff. So, they added Activate to 2 cards and kind of changed them as well. I think we had like hints of this kind of coming, but Black Swan was the first one. 3/5 was the old tech or old stats on reveal until the end of next turn. Your 1 cost cards cost 0. Pretty cool card. Pretty cool, thing. Just was a little bit underpowered for like what's been happening in the meta. Now the new one is a 2/3. Drop the cost. Activate now. until the end of your next turn, your 1-cost cards cost 0. What do you think about this?
Well, it's an interesting change because, like I said, the laws have been changing since you've been in Italy, so shit's going crazy. So, I think a lot of people now. I haven't played this card at all. Let me just up front, but I do think it's really interesting and definitely really good in bounce for sure. I think this is insane in the bounce deck, like straight up. Like 2/3 activate all to 0. Like that's fucked. Now with Falcon, like this plus Falcon is absolutely disgusting. So that's number one. I just want to put that up front. But I haven't played any bounce, and I think a lot of people want to play this with Ghost Spider and just move in general, right? Because move's a really good deck right now. So but they couldn't because the Ghost Spider's been bugged out like for like 3 months apparently. So the people have been saying like the Ghost Spider's been kind of broken. Specifically when you bounce her back to the hand and try to play her, she just like doesn't go off sometimes. And I definitely lost some cubes this season to that. I just assumed I misplayed. I actually didn't think anything of it. I'm like, oh, I must have fucked my order up, whatever. I'm not paying attention. But then people started pointing out. I'm like, oh no, I've lost like 12 cubes at least this season. But yeah, so it is what it is. Because I was playing bounce move the whole first week of Madam Web coming out. But yeah, so apparently that's all fixed now. So this might also be really good in a bounce move type of shell. Now, how many bounce cards do you want to put in your move deck? Like, I don't know. I don't even know if that's optimal anymore, but I definitely think it's interesting. And I think it's a really good change to Black Swan. I think she's going to be a monster in just standard bounce deck, Silver Sable, maybe even Hit Monkey. We're definitely Werewolf and, the usual suspects.
Yeah, did you talk about this with in the pod with Stanky King too? I think was it you? I think you said that like it should be a 2-cost if it went to activate.
Yes,
if I remember correctly, because and I love this change. I think it seems like a way better card. For you to choose when you want to make the 1-cost 0, and for it to be a 2-drop, and 2s are just like you can throw them in any deck you really want. It's kind of great that way. Makes it like a pretty cool card, and I definitely want to, once I get over my Phoenix Force itch, which I don't know when that will happen, but I definitely want to play this because I've played against like bounce Hit Monkey decks with this card.
Yeah,
and it's like pretty nuts, man. And like you said, like you Falcon, all your ones come back, then you activate, and it's all 0. Then your Hit Monkey's coming up, and you're fucked, bro. It's like it's crazy.
Sasquatch too, like probably like pretty good. Sasquatch stonks up too. If
you do it on turn
that
5,
card's already in those decks, but it just got a lot better with this card.
Yeah, we gotta do it on turn 5 though, right? Pop off.
Oh yeah, I guess if you want to play the Sasquatch, yeah.
Or I guess you don't really have to, because like if you just play 3 cards on turn 5, then you could play Hit Monkey and Sasquatch and all the 0s on
Yeah,
you can play like 2 1-costs and Falcon, and then and whatever the fuck you want to do. True. That's pretty wild. Yeah,
you got options. Yeah, I mean that sounds very difficult to play, but hey, that's what bounce is. So
yeah. I like this change. I hope we see more of this card because I think this is a really cool card, and I do want to see more of Black Swan because I feel like the concept is so cool. I loved when it came out, but just never had the power level to have a half decent deck. It was fun messing around like with Thanos and Lockjaw and stuff. We definitely did that. Just throwing all the stones down for free was hilarious and fun, but like, was it viable? Not really, but who cares? It's fun.
It's funny you mention it because Stanky King was chirping me because I was showing my Black Swan and I had like no boosters on it because I can never figure this card out. Like out of 3/5, I couldn't do it. Every time I tried it, it felt awkward. It felt like, hey, like my cards already cost 1. They're cheap. They're easy to play. I don't need to put them to 0, Like they're already 1. They're so easy to play. But if she's just sitting there and then you could time it perfectly with your Falcon or just toward the end of the game and you get to choose, like you don't have to plan your turns exactly. I think this is like honestly a pretty big buff to the card. And I mean, even in Thanos, right? You'd much rather play a 2 in Thanos, right? Like it's so much more smooth than having a jam of 3 costs in there. So 3 costs that conflicts with Kyra, or you want to play Hope Summer or something like that, So sweet change, man, for sure.
Yeah, and for now, like there's no what's it called, like Valve or Lever or like what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? There's nothing to stop activate cards.
Release valve.
Release valve. Yeah, that's it. There's no release valve for activate cards. So it's like, man, they can have these broken ass abilities at some point. Like, there's nothing that can fucking stop them.
It, yeah.
Because like you put down an activate card, like you're like shit. Like I can't do anything about that. Like, that's one of the things I love about Aranya. Like she's such a good, like sometimes like for one of the core tenets of Phoenix Force gaming is for Jet is Buddha, which means you just wait. You don't play for like 3 or 4 turns, and then you can like pop off. People don't know what the fuck you're doing. You can just always throw Aranya down on 1. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Like you might just get screwed by a location. That's the only thing. But like you could always throw her down on 1 because you activate her whenever the hell you want. It's amazing. So it's a really cool card to play on turn 1.
Yeah, it's pretty much Red Guardian, right? Like that's about this, and that's not a reliable. Like Red Guardian is gonna have a hard time hitting like Symbiote, but unless it's by itself, right? But yeah, it's the Red Guardian. That's about it.
Yeah. So, anyways, Black Swan, love this change, and then the old Hell Cow.
I fucked up.
No big deal. Stonks or Stank?
Yeah,
so Stank.
It's so funny because I'm such an ape. Like I'm fucking ape brain, man. Like I'm just a discard ape because I've unironically played Hell Cow. 4/8 Hell Cow. Once they changed it to 4/8, I played a bunch of Hell Cow, and I found at that time, this is months ago now, that its obvious home was in a MODOK list. So like sometimes you don't draw the MODOK, you get a Hell Cow on 4. And so I was thinking I didn't think of one of my all-time favorite decks in the history of Marvel Snap, Hela. Hela didn't cross my mind for a discard 2, which is crazy, and it didn't cross Stanky Kang's mind either, who's also spamming Hela right now. And we both play a lot of discard, and just for some reason we didn't think of Hela. So I apologize to the people. Like I strongly fucked up there. Obviously, this is stonks. I literally didn't think of Hela. In MODOK, though, I stand by what I said. But I don't think this is good in MODOK because what's it going to do? Hit your Apocalypse like one more time? Like it's shit in that deck, in my opinion.
Yeah, but, it's only good in that deck if Dracula is a 3-cost card, or if it's a 3-cost card.
That's what I said. I said you would have to move him to 3 to make him even playable in the MODOK list. That was my takeaway. Absolute donkey. I'm a fucking donkey. I'm sorry, guys. But
we all knew that. It's all right. You don't have to apologize. We already all knew that. So
yeah, exactly. The people know. It is what it is. We're like F71 at this point. The people know I'm an idiot. But I mean, this is cracked in Hela. I'm not going to be surprised if they change this at some point. It's legitimately like it's probably broken in Hela specifically. I mean, the fact that you could just always discard 2. Totally reliable. Like you said, kid, no interaction. Like you already can't really interact with the Hela deck. Like you truly can't interact with Hell Cow. Like they throw down the he comes in there and it's like, bro, like that Hell Cow represents like 35 power and like he's just fucking staring at you and there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, man, it's broken in Hela for sure. Hela needed it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I talked to Husky at SnapCon. And he tried so hard to make Hela work, and he could not do it. The -2, even with Luke Cage build, is just way too much. That's why Husky. Oh my god, we didn't talk about Agatha. We'll talk about Agatha later too. We
didn't even build the fucking Agatha list.
We'll get into that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, of our decks because that's actually that's another legitimate tier 1 deck. Husky built that Agatha deck because he was trying to make Hela work, and he couldn't make Hela work. And so he's like, well, why don't I just try it with Agatha? Like, this is an interesting change. And that ended up being one of the best decks in the game. This freaking Husky's Agatha deck. I'm happy Jay Kelly brought it up last week. We at least brought it up on the screen, highlighted it. But yeah, so Hela was bad. Hela got giga nerfed, which I'm happy they nerfed her because that's what I've been clamoring for months and months. Hey, stop nerfing around these cards. Why don't you just fucking nerf the Hela? They nerfed the Hela. They made -2 to everything. That was a extremely harsh nerf, and I think it killed Hela. But Hell Cow brings her all the way back and then some, because Hell Cow is the most reliable discard 2 you'll ever see in your life. Corvus can hit your Hela. Like you play Corvus Glaive, he might hit your Hela. Hell Cow's never hitting your Hela, and that's busted.
Yeah, it's wild because you just on turn 6 you click activate Hell Cow, you play your Hela, and it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Nothing matters. You're discarding 2 for sure. So it and presumably you've discarded at least 1 or 2 other ones before, at least
Yeah.
one
Mhm.
before that point. So you're getting at least 3 cards back every time, and it's to the fucking moon. This deck. But yeah, you just gotta clog these guys. Yeah, I don't think it's good in discard, like you said. And yeah, and hella. I mean, what more can I say after what you just said? You just fucking went on a rant there and just that's
I'm
it.
passionate about Hella. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a fun deck, man. I love the Hella deck.
I have nothing to add. Is there anywhere else that this deck or that this card can be? Like could it be in like I'm just like speaking off the top here and like I know obviously Hella is the best home clearly. Is there some sort of like strong guy list that kind of you can muster? I don't know, like Surfer. There was like a strong guy
Yeah.
discard. Like, is it something like and not that it's gonna be good, but I'm just trying to think of something other than Hella for this Hell cow.
The problem with it is the problem that it ran into before this change. The discard 2 is extremely oppressive to yourself, even in discard decks. Like
Yeah.
discard 2 random cards is like people didn't even play 3/7 Swordmaster. Like that was a freaking 3/7 that discarded a random card. Like we like to cope with Gambit, but really Gambit's not like making these top tier discard lists. Like he's just not, because discarding a random card from your hand is actually very hard to deal with, even as a discard deck. So
Yeah.
the discard 2, it's like, what is the payoff? Like that's what you have to ask yourself. And if it's just to get a strong guy up, like maybe like it would be like a Dracula dump is kind of what you're saying, right? Like you could guarantee your Dracula, right? Like maybe you play
Yeah.
a Dracula dump deck with Apocalypse. That sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I'm saying like you activate him on turn 6, right? So you're not like you're
Yeah.
not cucking yourself before then.
Yeah, I think
And
you
then
maybe build some strong guy Dracula dump type of list. Like remember the zoo list
yeah.
that run Dracula? Probably hydration Robert would probably go in a deck like that. Card I don't have, but I honestly hydration Robert would be good in that deck. So yeah, something like that, because you could play like Destroyer too in a deck like that, because Destroyer used to run in that deck, but it's even Destroyer's more targeted now, a little bit easier to play, so you might even be able to play the Destroyer and just not kill yourself. And maybe you play like APOC or something in your Dracula dump deck now. Hellcow always hits it, always hits your APOC basically. Always make sure your hand is small enough for strong guy.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I never even thought of that, kid.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of other things, but yeah, it definitely Unreal and Hella. You mentioned Destroyer. I don't know. Did we ever talk about the Destroyer change? That happened when I was gone. I think it happened when I was gone.
That was on the first app with Stanky Kang.
Yeah. What do you think about that change? Because like I'm trying to looking at it, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's kind of fucking stupid, actually.
Yeah, I didn't love it at the time. It felt like a slightly. Sorry, go ahead, kid.
No, sorry. I was gonna say like a lot of times you want to destroy the thing that's in the destroyer lane because he has so much power himself that like you kind of don't need that extra power in that lane.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I agree, and a lot of time Nimrod is in his lane.
Yeah,
like because you kill a Nimrod and then it comes back in his lane, right? And then what? Then your destroyer doesn't kill the Nimrod that's in his lane. That seems kind of shit. So and then so destroyer kills the other Nimrods, and then it just makes the destroyer lane even bigger, right? So it's like, all right, you got 42 in one lane and what 6 and 12 in the other. Like you're just gonna lose the other lanes. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna win one lane. Like congrats, you won one lane. Good job. So I think like at least when I was playing it, I played a decent amount when it came out, and even I was even playing it in Destroy too with like magic and shit. And it did feel slightly better than the old Destroyer, just because the old Destroyer was just like, just erase your whole board. It's just like, man, it's such an all-in. Like it just doesn't work out like a lot of the time. Like I do need my turn 1 to 5 to matter, but it also feels so awkward a lot of the time too, where I feel like it's not, the card doesn't have an identity now like it used to.
I know. Yeah.
I would have liked just a power. I should have boosted his power up to like 18 or some shit. Like, why are they so scared? Just fucking move these cards to 18, man. What's the big deal? Like, give Finance 20. It's fine. Relax, guys.
Yeah, they should. And this guy erases your whole board. Like,
yeah.
Boost
What
them.
are we doing?
I like that. I think they should do that.
Yeah.
All right, but I digress. The rest of the changes were what? Just like they're getting rid of the double gold shop, so If you want double gold, you have this month to do it.
Oh yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. The pay to win gold on the shop.
Yeah, the pay to win golds, pay to win before you can't anymore. And then we talked about the other changes.
I
Oh,
mean,
Swordmaster.
not to be a math guy, but you know, if you haven't bought the 8K, I'd probably do it. Honestly, if you haven't got the double 8K, it's probably worth just getting a 16,000 gold. I don't know. Well, you still can.
Yeah, if you have an extra $100 in your pocket, just
Yeah, it's
fucking
$100, but it's just one of those
yeet
where
it
it's
out
like, hey,
there.
buy that and then don't buy anything for the rest of the year. You know,
It's kind of true. Like, it is ridiculous value.
16K gold is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, the Swordmaster. They changed Swordmaster. We didn't talk about this. He was an old 3/7, discard a random card from your hand. Now he's a 3/7 on reveal, discard an odd costed card from your hand. So he's getting rid of odd costs. What do you think about him?
Yeah, so I love this change. See, this is a slick change. Like the Hell Cow,
Yeah.
like I said, the Hell Cow's busted. They're probably gonna have to do something with Hell Cow, honestly, because it's legitimately broken in Hella. But this change, this is a Hella card, but it's not broken. You know, it's a really cool change. It makes me think about Moon Knight, right? Where, you know, Moon Knight was just dead for the entirety of Marvel Snap.
Yeah.
And then they give him a cool kind of targeted but unique to him, right? He still discards the opponent, so it works with you know, Black Bolt Stature if you want to play that kind of stuff. So you know, and that's what Husky did with the Agatha list. But so this is occupies a different space than Moon Knight. So my thought about it in practicality is, again, this is a bad card in MODOK discard once again. So traditional discard sucks. You want to discard Swarm, that's an even card. You want to discard what's it called? Proxima Midnight, that's 4 cost card. You want to discard Apocalypse, 6. Even. What does Swordmaster do? Oh, let me hit your MODOK. Oh, you want me to hit your Lady Sif? You know, it's like, oh, okay, like you don't want to fucking discard these. So
No.
to me, this is a hella card. You know, hey, you know, nobody's doing it, but to me, this is clearly a hella card because he always doesn't hit your hella, which I think is extremely interesting. So I think it's a great change. It's targeted discard. It's a 3/7. There's premium stats. Is it good right now? I don't know, kid. Honestly, it might not be good, but I like where their head's at. It makes it a cool, interesting, unique card out of something that was boring and shit before.
Yeah. I think that like he's probably better in, maybe, I don't know if he fits in these, but like Black Knight decks, you know, like
Yeah.
just getting, or anything with Ghost Rider. I think I like him with Ghost Rider because like, you know, he's not discarding your Ghost Rider. Like a lot of times I've played like these Black Knight Ghost Rider decks with Moon Knight in them. You know, just to mess around. And I find the Moon Knight just fucking hits my Ghost Rider every time instead of the 6 drop that I wanted to hit. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
You know, like this is just it seems like a cool, like hit a 5 drop or something, you know, and then kind of give her from there. But I like it. I like how they're making them targeted. You know, if Hell Cow ends up being too fucking busted and they end up changing it, maybe they can do something like it discards like the highest and lowest cost card in your hand or something. You know, highest or lowest cost card or highest and lowest power or whatever. Like one from each, like, you know,
Yeah.
degree. But yeah, I like this. I like how they're doing this. You know, making discard a little bit more targeted because it is an archetype that is struggling right now. And yeah, I mean, you know, we should say this too. Like, you can play discard. Discard is a fine deck to play now as well.
It's a
We
good
didn't even
deck.
talk about
It's
it.
a legitimately
Like,
good deck. Yeah.
MODOK discard is a good fucking deck to
Yeah,
play.
it
Like, if you like discard, you'll win games with discard.
I've
Like, it's
lost
good.
some cubes to it in the last week. Yeah.
I just made this random ass fucking to try and do some quests for the Alliance because I've been slacking for 3 weeks. Just like I got some discard quests, so I'm like, I just made this random discard deck where I can discard everything. Swordmaster's in it, like it's just got, you know, just random discard cards. And I've just been like cleaning up in Conquest here, like beating these people. Like I'm like, how the hell am I winning? Like I'm just fucking around, literally discarding stuff just to get the discard for the quests. Like I'm trying to like discard like the worst stuff. I don't care. Like I'm just discarding cards and like I'm winning. And I'm like, this is kind of crazy. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, and Swordmaster's in there because like he's a 3/7. It's pretty sweet. I like it.
I do got to point out one more thing with Swordmaster too, is that there is a new discard card coming out, and I know Tucker was very excited about it. We talked about it when Tucker came on, where he like goes up by 2 power and then like adds his power to the board or something. Remember that card? It's like a purple spiky guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it was called, but that's a 1 cost card, I believe. So that's probably going to be played alongside a Swordmaster, if I had to guess. Not, so that way it's not just Colleen hitting him, and
Yeah.
Silver Samurai maybe.
Oh, that's pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah. Like that card seemed broken when I first read it. I don't know if they changed it, the data mine or whatever, but I haven't been keeping up with the that stuff. But I think that card's meant to be played with Swordmaster as well.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be kind of cool, actually. Oh, that'll be fun. I like that. They did some bug fixes. Did they do anything else crazy? Oh, and they do some alliance stuff. They added like bounties and stuff.
I think like they added like Spider-Man and like Madam Web stuff, like with like a lot of like alliance points. Like it's like play Spider-Man 3 times, 250 points. And I think they lowered the threshold for like rewards a little bit too.
Okay. Yeah,
like you don't need 120,000 or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's nice how they're updating alliances, like and like being more generous and stuff. And what do you think about the alliances so far?
I like it. I like it a lot, but I will say that the first month it came out, I really liked the idea of, like I could play the Claw and Wong in a deck, and like the alliance is like it's like a excuse to play like these random cards. Now I don't like doing those quests. I'm already over it. It's kind of like with Conquest, where like I loved Conquest for like 4 or 5 months. Like I really did. Like I actually preferred it to Ladder and a lot of the time. But like I don't even want to play Conquest anymore now. And I'm kind of starting to feel that with like, hey, like play Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in a deck for 200. I'm like, bro, I'm not doing that. Like I just want to play the deck that I want to play. And I'll try to find alliance quests that align with whatever deck I already want to play. So
yeah, I mean, when Arshem was broken, it was nice because you could just like what I was doing was just throwing all those cards in an Arshem deck, and I was like winning, and it's fucking great.
You can still do that. Conquest. Arshem's still pretty good.
yeah, you can still do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I know what you mean. They're kind of like shit, and you only get like 3 rerolls per week, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't mind that part. It's like, hey, if you're gonna pick a mission, you gotta do it.
Yeah. No, but alliances are fun though. I love them. I want to be excited to be back.
Our chat's been awesome. I got to shout out Filthy Casuals, man. The chat's been popping off, and the boys are having a blast in there. So
yeah, I've been popping in every once in a while the last couple weeks, and it's been hilarious. So I got to be more active in that now. Now that I'm back, I'm pretty pumped about it. But yeah, I love it. Okay, let's talk about all the decks and shit. That we have a few decks that we can talk about. And then
yeah, while you're pulling that up, I'll briefly touch on this Agatha list, that we didn't build, but it's like
I have it. I might have deleted it.
We brought it up on the pod last week, and I went on this rant about how basically like Agatha is basically like old America Chavez, but like she plays your cards for you, so like it's a bit of a downside. America Chavez, you just draw her on 6, like it wasn't that bad. You draw 6-9 on 6, like it's not great, but it's not bad. Like Agatha plays your fucking cards for you. That's pretty rough. So, but like I always said, I always like kind of like the appeal of Agatha, like the idea of it, the fact that you really are playing with an 11 card deck, and she is a bonus card. So Husky came up with a genius idea to just play Black Knight in Black Knight in Agatha. And first of all, you see your Black Knight way more often, which is massive, right? You if you were playing Black Knight, you would play old America Chavez in your Black Knight deck, because you really do want to just open Black Knight on 1. And then Black Knight also just doesn't care too much about the even turns or whatever. Like which one does Agatha play? She plays
her even turns, I believe.
Yeah, so you just want to play the odd turns. So like turn 3 is the big one. Turn 3 you have, Moon Knight, Wave, and Lady Sif, and Agatha's always in your hand. So all 3 of those cards always hit the Agatha. So long as you draw one of them and you have extremely increased odds to draw them because you're playing an 11 card deck with Agatha, it's pretty genius. And then you get to play like Black Bolt Stature, and Ghost Rider's a 4/18 in that deck. And it's a pretty sweet deck, and it was like a top win rate deck in the entire game. Probably still is. And shout out to Oski for making a tier 1 Agatha deck. Like absolutely insane. Like the shit you missed, kid. You missed Agatha being tier 1 in Marvel Snap. Like that literally happened while you're gone.
That was wild. I was kind of like following a little bit. I'm like, man, like, and you don't even care where she plays the Ghost Rider. Like, she's playing your turn 4 for you. Unless you discarded her.
Yeah, she's discarded. So you pick where you play the Ghost Rider.
That's true. Never mind. Yeah.
By turn 4, she's out.
Yeah. That's great.
Wave might. You get to choose. No, she plays herself with Wave, so that's the one where you don't control.
She always plays herself if she can.
Yeah, but that's where you don't control it, right? On 4, so if you wave on 3, you're getting a random 14 somewhere. You don't get to pick where she goes.
But you don't care really, though, right?
No, it's 14 power. It's great.
Yeah, it's wild. Wasn't Infinite in that deck too, or no?
No, because you have to have her as the only 6, so that Lady Sif hits her every time. She's the only 6 in the deck.
That makes sense.
And then it's like Black Bolt, Stature, Legion. I think it's Black Bolt, Stature, Legion are the 5/5/5. And then you got, the 3/3s I said. Like I haven't played the deck, but yeah, Black Knight, so you get a 14 power Ebony Blade every time. And sweet deck.
Yeah. I love it. Joe's probably loving it too. Guy loves Agatha.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's great. I'm happy for it, Are you seeing her now? Because I haven't really run into her too much.
A lot less than last week, but once in a while I still see her.
Because still pretty good, I would imagine. That's still pretty fucking.
It's a very good deck. It's know what it is, kid. It's the same as the old Black Bolt Stature deck. Remember when Black Bolt Stature was good?
Yeah.
It's the same deck.
Yeah, that's great.
It's just like an above average amount of points all the time.
Yeah.
If they do a crazy combo like Phoenix Force or something, like the Agatha deck loses. They can't beat a big combo, but it always outputs like a good amount of power, basically always. So yeah,
that's awesome.
And you get a little bit of disruption with Moon Knight Black Bolt. So you get two pieces that actually hit your opponent's hand. So you might hit a key card. So yeah, that's basically your tech.
I love it.
It's genius.
And his Husky has some genius shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about this current iteration of Phoenix Force. We kick off the decks here. This is what Jet is currently running. It's changing randomly depending on the meta. So this is the current version, which is Arana, Deadpool, Ghost Spider, Human Torch, Nico, Carnage, Doctor Strange, Hulkbuster, Multiple Man, Venom, Phoenix Force, and Zola. So basically you're just doing Phoenix Force stuff. Deadpool easily can get, he can't get crazy with the Taskmaster anymore. But he easily can get to a 1/6 with Arana, and that's really good. You don't really need more than that. Even like if you buff with Nico, you can do that as well. You get the Nico doubling combos, and then Zola it. And then, the big play against Hela is just like get your Human Torch and then Zola your Human Torch.
Okay, can you, because there are a lot of, it's Filthy Casual podcast, and there are a lot of, new people picking up Phoenix Force now, like we talked about. Also, just for me as well, as a Phoenix Force noob. Can you explain the Nico combo quick? Or not quick, but, like in step, like what cards do you play in order?
Yeah, okay. So the Nico combo is you want Nico to double herself. So you want the Nico to be like, whenever you play your next card, this card doubles her power. So Nico doubles her own power. So you can do it with Hulkbuster or not with Hulkbuster, but basically you want Nico, and it's an on reveal. So Nico first, like you play Nico, it's double her own power. Then you can play Carnage. She turns into 1/4. Carnage destroys her, right? Then you play Phoenix Force, and it's a 1/4 plus a 4/5. So that's a 9. And then the Phoenix Force revives Nico, and then on reveal again, and she becomes a 1/18. And then so that's the double combo. And then
like a 4/18, like a 4/18, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a 1/18 because it's Nico.
Okay, so it can get Killmonger still.
It can get Killmonger still. Yeah. It's like a glass cannon, and so like you can get Zola that. But then also you can do wild shit like if you Aranya then Nico, then that's 2 extra power. If you Hulkbuster the Nico and destroy it, that's like then Nico becomes a 5, right? Which doubles to a 10. And then you destroy that, and then it doubles to like then it becomes a 15, then it goes to a 30.
Yeah.
And then you could Zola the 30, or you just have 30 power randomly.
Venom Zola shit too. Yeah.
Exactly.
pump
So
it
yeah,
up. Yeah.
Nico's always really fun like that. And then
Mhm.
Nico could also add power to any of the other cards as well, like multiple man, Deadpool, that kind of stuff. If you're destroying them and getting power in those lanes.
Okay.
So
Thank you for
yeah,
that. Sorry to interrupt you there, but yeah, I thought it'd be
no,
good,
no, that's okay. No,
good for the
that's great.
people. Mhm.
But yeah, and that's a combo that that's like I'd say the main combo that most people don't really see coming.
Mhm.
You know, every time I get people with that Nico, like I have a Nico, like I think the screenshot I sent you, my Nico was like
Yeah.
38. Anytime I do that, like people are like, man, I didn't fucking know Nico could get that big, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, she can. And she's like a core card in this deck, and like probably one of the best cards in this deck. Um, and it's awesome. Now this is just one version. Like Zola is being, sometimes Zola is being changed for Eliath. Some people aren't playing Deadpool and they're playing like more tech, like Eliath or Cannonball. I think most people are still playing Human Torch. There's definitely another version, which there's a lot of these great versions. This is the Symbiote Spider-Man one, which is Aranya, Ghost Spider, Human Torch, Nico, Carnage, Doctor Strange, Hulkbuster, and Multiple Men, Venom, Phoenix Force, Symbiote Spider-Man, and Heimdall. The Heimdall, Jet really wants to somehow put into the other list too. It's just the list is so tight, it's tough. With Symbiote Spider-Man, he was popping off the first couple of weeks. Everyone was so excited about this. Like we talked about before, you could like multiple man to the Symbiote Spider-Man, and it gets kind of crazy. It's just a fun list, and I'm happy that Phoenix Force is revived a little bit because after the move change, it was like pretty depressing because you couldn't do the weird cheating shit, which was what I thought was the most fun. Is do
Mhm.
these like broken move combos that made no sense and broke the game. It was amazing. And then they fucked Taskmaster for no reason. I mean, there's a reason, but like for me, no reason.
Yeah.
And then so that like killed the deck basically. Everyone was so depressed. I'm like, man, this is fucking bullshit. And then this is just new season has just brought new life to this whole archetype, and I'm so fucking fired up for it. If they nerf any of these cards, I'm gonna be pissed off. But yeah, so that's my Phoenix Force little rant. I love it.
I gotta point out too, quick, because we are, it's the Aranya week, and you were talking about the little bullshit that Phoenix Force used to be able to do before they said, hey, move always happens first, because that's how it works now. Whatever you move, like if you move a card with Madam Web, like that'll always happen before all on reveal everything. Um, there is some bullshit like that. Now I can't give you the details on it, but with Aranya specifically. So what I've learned in my travels as a filthy casual is that Iron Fist always goes off first, even though you could click Aranya first. And most of the time, when you click and activate, it's the order of operations, like people say.
Yeah, yeah,
So, I play a card, then I hit activate. So, like on a Symbiote Spider-Man, it's very easy, right? I play my on reveal, say it's a white tiger. So, tiger goes out, then I click activate. Symbiote latches onto the white tiger, another tiger goes out. Simple, right? Aranya is not actually that simple. So there's some weird shit going on with this card. There's some new I don't know. It's not quite clear. And Glenn was saying like, oh, it's supposed to work like Aunt May's, but we're looking into it. And then like if you read Aranya, it's like, yeah, the next card you play +2 and move it to the right. So it has like the exact same text as Forge, but it doesn't work with Brood, which is like weird, right? So like yeah, so it's give the next card you play +2 power. So that's give the next card you play +2 power. I want to keep that in mind, and I'm going to pull up Forge. Give the next card you play +2 power. Literally, word for word, the same text as Forge. Yet it doesn't work with Brood. Isn't that fucking weird? So I don't know. Like there's some bullshit going on with Aranya right now. They fixed the Ghost Spider bullshit, but they added some new bullshit with Aranya. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And for me, the decks I've been playing, because I played some move, Iron Fist happens first. Doesn't matter if you push Aranya first. So make sure you play your shit all the way on the right lane if you want to do a Aranya Fist. Or because then you go plays the right lane, fist to the left, then it goes right again. So fist happens first. It's very weird. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this card, but I still think it's a really good card.
So you're saying if you click activate first, then play the Iron Fist? No, you're saying play Iron Fist first.
I'm saying it
then
doesn't
click
matter.
activate.
It doesn't fucking matter. The fist just happens first for some reason.
But it always would, wouldn't it? I'm trying to think of when it wouldn't.
Okay, if you play 4, let's just use Brood as an example because
No, let's just do Aranya Iron Fist. Let's talk about them.
okay.
Like walk me through it.
Well, I don't know, man. It's happened like 3 days ago now. I've played a bunch of War Machine games, but I just had it in my head that
because if you click activate first, if you're playing Iron Fist, then the Iron Fist should move.
Even if I click Aranya activate first, then I play Iron Fist?
Yeah, the Iron Fist should move to do the Aranya. Aranya will activate on Iron Fist.
Yeah, but say I played Iron Fist like the turn. No, maybe not the turn before would be a bad example. TheKiD. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of an example of where that, because like it makes sense the way you're telling me. I'm like, yeah, it should go off in that way because that is the order.
Maybe Iron Fist is a bad example, but
okay.
But Iron Fist came up where personally it fucked me up a few times. So, but maybe that's a skill issue.
All right.
Let's talk about Brood.
Brood should work. Brood
why
doesn't
it work with Brood?
That's very weird because Brood should get 2 power and then
So let's say you hit activate first and then you play Brood. It doesn't work. So
that's dumb.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway,
does Brood work with that maze? Should, right?
Probably not. No, I don't.
Yeah, maybe not. So then.
Oh no, it does, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it goes. Oh no, on reveal. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it doesn't work with Ant Maze.
So are they? It can't be that the cards on reveal goes off. Oh, so is that the hit that just like the cards
on reveal
goes off first?
Yes,
and maybe that's why Iron Fist.
That's what I'm trying to say with Iron Fist. Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So the card that you. Okay, so the cards on reveal goes off before Aranya's activate, no matter the order.
Even if I click activate first, yeah,
that's
then
weird.
Play Iron Fist.
So the playing order matters, but the on reveal, that's weird. Man, maybe if someone knows any different, just let us know.
Yeah, if anyone knows the specifics, give us in the comments.
Yeah, because we clearly don't fucking know.
No, and by the way, I'm not even going to try to figure it out. I'm just going to play the game, and whatever happens.
Well, there's no Iron Fist in this Phoenix Force list, thank God. But if there's some broken ways to do stuff, I like that. Mm-hmm. And then also I should mention that Nimrod's a really good card. I had some Nimrod lists too, but I don't have them anymore. But Nimrod's really great with Aranya because you get them up to 8 power, and it's just like a lot more power with the Nimrod. And it's the Nimrod lists are great.
And you could Shuri Zola, awesome. And you couldn't Shuri before because you'd have to 50-50 your Shuri lane.
Yeah.
Shuri was nerfed so that you had to play in the same lane. Then it's like, what are you going to do, 50-50 your Nimrod? No, Aranya moves the now like 14 power Nimrod all by himself. And so you could have 228 lanes like very reliably. And you could skip the first 3 turns and have 228 lanes.
That's great. I wonder if you can, because if the on reveal goes off first, can you play like if like some the locations fuck you for whatever reason? Can you Aranya the Shuri and then you have the 1 lane free, the Shuri lane? Because the Shuri on reveal should go off first. Move the Shuri over to the right, and then the power should be in the middle, right, or whatever the fuck you play.
You could, yeah. But then why would you want a 4/3 Shuri when you could have that power on Nimrod, right?
No, I'm just saying like if you have central like the Raptors on 1 lane, you can't the location's full and you can't.
Galactus, that set up a Galactus actually. That Galactus would be the one time where you definitely want to do that.
That'd be pretty sweet.
With Galactus, you'd have a 10 power Galactus there.
That'd be pretty funny.
But if you don't buff it with the Wakanda kids.
Yeah.
So it could be like a 14 power Galactus or something, and by himself in a lane. That sounds pretty sick, actually.
I love that. Anyways, these cards, like I said, I love the discussion because these cards are so fucking fun. They're like just weird and like
it's a wild month.
Stuff.
It's a wild month.
It's awesome. Let's talk about some of the ones you want to talk about now. We're going to talk about which one? Oh, your Hella list. Let's talk about your Hella list. Give the people the no big deal Hella spice. Okay, you've been playing Hella more than anyone. These people are going to get these like weird, cookie cutter lists from Untapped. Don't do that. Listen to the master here. The guy that's playing no big deal. No big deal. The guy that's playing Hella his entire career, coming up with these odd lists. Give us the spice, no big deal. Go ahead, tell the people.
Well, that's basically what I was thinking. Like, if you want to go and get, I'm sure Husky has a list. I think everybody's playing it. Check out any video that is. I'm now playing a Hella deck. I'm sure Cam Best already posted it. I'm sure Cozy Snap already posted it. It's all the exact same Hella list. It's fun, it's cool, but no one's really innovating the Hella space right now because everyone's just playing the same deck. It works, and like I said, Hell Cow is broken card right now in Hella. So it doesn't really matter what list you play. Like you're gonna get a bunch of discards off, and it's gonna be really good. It doesn't have to be optimized. But I want to mess around a little bit and play some fun stuff. So this list is Blade, Luke Cage, Corvus, Swordmaster, Jubilee, Hell Cow, Black Cat, Lady Deathstrike, Arrow, Hela, Magneto, and the Infinite. So this list does a few things that I think is kind of fun. It has, number one, it has actual disruption, unlike the other list, which is just straight up points, right? So if you're playing like a mirror match, you have access to this like turn 5 arrow, and like they're not ready for it, So like you could kind of mess them up with the arrow. You could kill their blade with your LDS. You could kill their Luke Cage with your Lady Deathstrike. You could do some shit like that like really messes them up. But the main reason Lady Deathstrike's in here is because Clog is all over the place right now. There's all kinds of Clog, and a lot of them are playing with like Kate Bishop and shit like that, right? They're sending over the acid arrow and all the other bullshit. And so, you just hit them with the old LDS. Like nobody's ready. Like, what do you think they're playing LDS in Hella? So LDS has been really sick in this deck. Arrow, I think, has been awesome, but could be a blink. Like you don't have to be Arrow. The problem with playing blink in Hella is that blink, you don't want to discard your blink and then reanimate it with Hella because she blinks nothing. Like if you had death in the deck, it could hit death, but you've probably drawn death as well at that point. And it's just literally going to be a vanilla 7. And if you don't have Luke Cage, that's a vanilla 5 power card. So that's really dog shit for Blink. So like I like Blink and Hella in general. Obviously it increases the consistency a ton. But if we're playing a deck where I'm playing the card Swordmaster, and this is a new card that only works in Hella, you can't play it in MODOK, like I said before. Swordmaster always either hits your LDS or she hits your Arrow, and she always misses your Hella, which I think is really interesting. And if you think about the old combo that everybody was running before, it's Lady Sif and Death. And if you really think about it, and I like Lady Sif and Death. Like these are some of my most played cards in all of Marvel Snap. But like it's just a 5 power card and a vanilla 12 that is a 10 a lot of the time. Like that's really all it is. And you don't even always have the Death in your hand when you need her to be. So like what? Because you need her by turn 3 and to protect the Hella. And so it's kind of like Swordmaster is always going to miss Hella, always. Lady Sif still hits Hella sometimes. So, and Swordmaster is going to hit these cards that can completely disrupt your opponent. So when you're reanimating an Arrow, like that's really good because I'm not only putting 10 power on this lane, but now I'm going to pull some of their power. So if they wanted to strategically spread their shit out, like, I'm sorry, Arrow, give me that newly buffed Arrow. You're coming here. Same thing with Magneto. Magneto's historically really good in like Lockjaw lists, right? You want your Magneto popping out of Lockjaw so that you load up your opponent's cards into the Lockjaw lane where they're going to fucking lose anyway. So Magneto does the same thing here. Also, you got the ramp Corvus. I play Corvus on 3, then I can play Magneto on turn 5 and totally fuck my opponent. So you have multiple disruption pieces with the LDS, Arrow, and Magneto. Hellcow is still busted. Jubilee is still great in here. And of course, just standard Hella stuff. So it's all the good stuff. I like Corvus. The other list is not running Corvus right now, because you could just play Corvus without the Hella game plan and it still works, like you've said before, kids. So I like this deck a lot. This is my favorite Hella deck at the moment. And hey, if you're looking for a little Hella spice, you want to mix it up a bit. New Swordmaster, hey, it's a 3/7, boys. It's a 3/7. It's pretty good. Oh, even if you hit your Luke Cage, that's also pretty good too.
Yeah,
because then you don't have to play Luke Cage for 3. So that's a 10 power play, and you don't get -2 on all your. So that could be like a 15 to 17 power play. Just Swordmaster hitting your Luke Cage.
Yeah, this is great. I like this list. If I was playing Hella right now, I would definitely try this for sure, more than the other ones, because it's very interesting. Mm-hmm. What was I gonna say? I forget. Oh yeah. Shout out to Magneto. I love when he gets played. When I have a symbiote Spider-Man multiple man, that's happened a few times to me. It's fucking great. He's pulled because symbiote Spider-Man's a 4, so he just makes more 4/9s for me. It's hilarious.
Yeah, Vulture's scary too. I mean, I've definitely hit some Vultures. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, and
That's a 3 power card. Shit.
you know, it's funny. Like, there's not that much Shang in this meta too. We didn't even talk about that. Like,
No, there's not.
where the fuck is Shang? I haven't seen him.
Only in the
In
Arshan deck, I think. I don't think anyone else is playing it.
it's just because probably Hella, like, you can't like predict the power, and like, there's why the hell are you gonna play Shang? Really?
Mhm.
Like, it must be that, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at the 1 to 4 drops in this list. Like, those are the cards you're actually playing, and none of them get Shang-Chi, you know?
No, yeah. Yeah, well, that's some good Hella Spice. I love it. I love it. I love you bring the Hella Spice. It's awesome.
I love this deck, man. It's so fun.
That's great. And then we're gonna talk about this War Machine deck. Why don't you go through it? No big deal.
Yeah, so I mean, Lockdown's just my favorite deck that I've been playing really in the last couple weeks. Like, I love Lockdown. I mean, this deck doesn't have Storm. I did go through my version of this deck that I was playing last week in detail. You skip about an hour into the pod last week, you'll see it with detailed explanation. So I will just say this new War Machine is like still a really interesting and good card, and a lot of people aren't playing it because it's like they were playing it for a couple of days, but then the freaking patch came, and now like it's just Hella City, and the people are trying to either counter Hella with Clog, or they're playing Hella, or they're playing some crazy move shit to combo over the Hella. So people almost forgot about War Machine. Like, it had like 4 days of glory, and then it kind of like went away. But I still think War Machine's really good. This deck had a lot of really good stats on untap. So it's not Hydra Bob, it's Silver Sable. Kid doesn't have Silver Sable yet. So
Yeah.
Silver Sable, Ebony Maw, Madam Web, Armor, Electro, Kyera, War Machine, Call Obsidian, Blink, Elias, Scar, Infinite. So just not a lot of Scar decks out there right now. So this is a pretty sweet way to play Scar. You still play your Infinite, Ebony Maw. This is a little more straightforward than the list I was playing, where you're trying to like Cersei out your Hood and your Electro in the same lane, and do some wild shit with like Viper, send over the Electro. This is a little more straightforward. It's points, big boys, Call Obsidian, discounts your Scar. Blink is basically always good in here. And then Madam Web, in a deck like this, where you're just throwing a bunch of 10s on the board, you get to redistribute them however you want. And if they are, God forbid, they're playing Shang-Chi, at least you have an option of maybe juking it with the Madam Web, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, and the armor's in there as well.
And Kyera.
And yeah, and this is just like the I think one of the most played on Untapped too. I personally like the one from that you mentioned last week as well, a little more, because you get like the Hood Viper kind of bullshit as well. You get more disrupted,
and Storm Legion.
Like
you get Storm Legion too, which is fun.
Yeah, though, just a little being a fucking degenerate like that's unreal. I love it. But yeah, this is a nice War Machine list if people want to play.
Yeah, statistically, this is the one to play. So I just wanted to point it out as something different than last week.
Yeah, and you could probably sub in a lot of these cards if you don't have them. I mean, even Madam Web, you don't need like Madam Web.
No,
like, if you don't have
White Widow, play a White Widow. It's like 2/5.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if you don't have like Hydra, or if you don't have like Silver Sable and Madam Web, you can just sub with like anything. You can do Hood Viper as well, right? Like you can do that if you really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, White Widow's great. There's a lot of good subs here.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't have Call Obsidian, play Crossbones.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's War Machine. And then you want to talk about Owl God, Owl God's move list, which is, I just want to fucking say this. It's basically a fucking move list that's just like a cookie cutter move list, but he's having good. I've seen a lot of lists like this, but he had really, really good success with it. So we'll give Owl God the credit because we got the list from him. But yeah, no big deal. Go. Well, I'll say the list.
Yeah,
it's Arana, Ghost Spider, Human Torch, Iron Fist, Dagger, Madam Web, Craven, Cloak, Vulture, Hercules, Spider-Man 2099, and The Living Tribunal. I haven't played this list at all. No big deal. You played some.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I like it. I think he made it because Ghost Spider was bugged, and so bounce move was not working the way it was intended. So sometimes you'd bounce your Ghost Spider and it wouldn't work. So I don't want to speak for him because I don't know this at all. But basically, he posted the stats on this. He played over 250 games, over 70% win rate, like really good cube rate. Just absolutely smashing. In fact, he almost played 300 games with it. It's crazy. But shout out to Owl God, Owl Snap. Awesome Marvel Snap player at the top of the ladder too. So it's a like kind of a standard move list. I think the Craven inclusion is really interesting. I mean, when I first started playing Madam Web, I was playing Doctor Strange personally. I thought that made more sense, but it's nice to have another scaler, and that is like, you know, when you come back to move after like not playing it for so long, you remember that like you do have to win 2 lanes in Marvel Snap, and that is like the main weakness of the move deck. You can always win 1 lane. You'll have a 39 power Vulture, you know, you'll have a 48 power Dagger, you'll have a 128 power Human Torch. Like, that's great for winning 1 lane. How the fuck are you going to win the other lane? So Craven's one way to do it. You have just a 2/8 Craven. That's really nice. Obviously, Living Tribunal, if you do it to the Human Torch line, spread out, you get like 33 power in 3 lanes if you do the Torch line. And Spider-Man 2099, that's the Regget move tech from back in the day when he took it to a major tournament, got like top 6 with move Spider-Man 2099. Honestly, I'm finding the 2099 really nice in the move mirror specifically because, you know, like you might have Hercules, they have Hercules, everyone's kind of scared to move their cards. Just slamming like a fucking 5/9 like is actually like really nice into a lane. It's won me multiple games in move mirror with this deck specifically. So I'm like, I'll just play a 9 power here. So, but other than that, like obviously in other matchups, you know, the destruction part is like really nice. Killing a Wong, killing a Null, something like that is like absolutely insane. So even you get, you know, like the kid said, if you know maybe they have a symbiote Spider-Man sitting by himself, like maybe you should ship the old 2099 over there, you know, see what happens if you got priority. So yeah, it's just a good move list. And Cloak, I would say, has been the most surprising card of the month for me. Even early on, I was playing Cloak, but I was, you know, ready to cut it. I'm like, I'll just cut this Cloak for Arana. When Arana come out, goodbye Cloak. Man, I'm having a hard time cutting the Cloak, man. He's popping off every game. I feel like Cloak's fucking popping off. So really sweet card.
Yeah, it enables all these cards too, especially, and I like how Hercules is being played a little more now too. Mm-hmm. Like Hercules is seeing inclusions in a lot of these lists, which like the card that was like almost forgot about, you know, and they buffed, even after they buffed him, like he still wasn't really being played. But now with all these move cards, like it's nice to see move as like a decent archetype now.
Yeah, the Herc is great with Madam Web specifically because you have total control over it, right? You always move into the Herc lane, which is like it's just reliable. It's really nice. And yeah, the Cloak is nice because, you know, you will still get these clogs. Like, even if they're not playing a clog deck, you still get the freaking Widow's Kiss and the Acid Arrow coming over, like, you know, regardless. Like, everyone's just playing this shit. So just being able to clean your shit up with Cloak is, like, really nice.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. What happened to Athena list? I just thought about that right now.
They're still out there. They're still out there, and a lot of them are playing Wiccan. From what I've seen.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, there's a lot of like Athena lists, like even with like Ajax and stuff that like I remember before were like really fucking good lists, and I'm trying to think, I haven't seen these lists for like, I haven't played against Athena player, and I haven't played against Athena player this month. Mind you, I'm like grinded, but like I haven't even seen one.
I've played a few. It still feels pretty strong. From what I've seen, they're all playing Wiccan. You know, a bunch of ones. Maria Hill, Kate Bishop. You know, to generate the curve. And then they curve into Wiccan, and then they play like, you know, Eliath and Magneto and you know, the big Chungus.
Yeah, the big dick Wick. What a good list still. Too.
I love that he's still doing his thing, man. That card's so sick.
He's slamming his thing. It's still a good list. Like, oh yeah. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, man, there's so many lists that are just like really cool that you can just play right now.
I like that you mentioned Ajax. The Ajax clog stuff's still really good too.
It's good, yeah.
I think Cam Best put out a video. His best deck he played like 2 weeks ago with some Ajax kind of clog build. So yeah, it's still really good.
Yeah, like, you know, say what you want about Hella, but like there's a lot of lists that are playable right now that you can you know win with. That's great. Yeah, I think is that it? That's probably it, huh?
I think that's it, man.
I think that's it. You want to let's go over real quick before we go, because we still got some time here. Let's talk about the next week's you know, spotlights, because I don't even know.
The Scarlet Spider coming out next week. So yeah, Scarlet Spider's while the kid pulls this up, I just want to say Scarlet Spider is a pretty interesting card, actually. I mean, even just in the data mines, I was pretty excited about this card because it's like, if you think about Marvel Snap and you go to the you know, the 4 cost cards, and you look at all the cards that are 10 power, which is a lot of 4-cost cards in Marvel Snap. You struggling, kid? Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so a lot of these cards are, Atuma, right? Cull Obsidian, Crossbones, Typhoid Mary, right? There's these 4 cards that are all, and Black Cat too. They're all 10 power, even Old Sentry. They all have a downside, right? Like, you have all these 4-cost cards with a major downside. Like Crossbones, you need to have priority. Cull Obsidian, you need to have a 1-drop. Typhoid Mary nukes your whole board and definitely needs a buff, and, they're really doing her dirty in this game. Atuma, I like the Atuma change, but it is still a downside. He's still killing your own cards, right? So, and then Black Cat discards herself, so you can't even play her. And if you don't get Hella, like, that's a brick. So, and Sentry used to put a -10 on your board as a 4/10. So they all have downside. This Scarlet Spider card is just a fucking 4/10 with, as far as I can see, no downside. Only downside being I can't play it on 6 is like literally it, right? And that's with no synergy, no buff. Nothing. This is a 4/10 always, unless I have to play it on 6.
And you can't you can't choose where the copy goes most of the time.
I choose where the first one goes.
Yeah. So did we say what it was? Scarlet Spider. Yeah, I have it pulled up here. It's a 4/5 activate. Add an exact clone of this to another location. Again, man, they're fucking crushing it this month.
That's a cool
card. Cards are so cool, man. Yeah. Like, I don't know how good he's gonna be. Mm-hmm. I mean, you obviously are gonna have. I mean, is it good just to have? I guess it is good just to have a straight 4/10, but you do want to buff him. And what are you gonna use on him? Stuff like, I guess you could put like Hulkbuster. You could do like Forge, Arana before, like all these cards, any little buff cards. If you do stuff in the hand as well. Is there anything like, then he just becomes like a 4/12 with Arana, he's a 4/14. Forge is a 4/14. Hulkbuster, he's what, a 4/16.
Nakia's on curve.
Yeah, I guess a 6/16 is using the Hulkbuster, but still, and then is there a way that you could even like Symbiote Spider-Man him as well? Like, you activate him, go, and then like activate Symbiote Spider-Man, activates another one.
Yes.
Like Symbiote Spider-Man would be pretty nuts with him actually too, right?
It's basically a Shuri. It's even better than a Shuri, actually. Yeah. Shuri or Symbiote Spider-Man, both awesome with this guy.
That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah.
I like the Symbiote better though, because it's hard to Shang-Chi the Symbiote line, right? Because you could just wait till turn 6 and then rip it,
Yeah.
If you could pass Cryo, then you're good. And then it can't do anything because it's activate.
That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man, those will be fun little decks. Is there anything broken you could think about for him? Because I saw. So one thing I want to mention before, while you think, is I've seen some discourse online from people that are like, "Oh yeah, you could play him with like Doctor Doom and stuff like that." And it's like, he's not like, he only clones himself. So like, he doesn't have an on reveal ability or anything like that. Like, it's not like Symbiote Spider-Man. You're not going to be able to play him with other cards. It's going to be like, he just adds a clone of himself to another location. So you're going to have to buff him in order to get, anything, worthy of him. He's not going to become an on reveal card. He's not going to, activate or like, do the effects of any of the other cards that you buff him with or anything, right? Like, he's just straight power. He's just a straight power that clones himself, which is cool. I just wanted to say that. No big deal. What did you think of anything?
I was going to add to what you were saying, I don't know where you heard that, but it might have been from Jason Kelly, who was on last week, and he was really trying to cope with the C5 deck. And but we thought maybe, Black Swan would be activate as a 3/5, and that would be really interesting in C5, because then you could just spam like, Hydra Bob, Ant-Man, Titan, or Martyr all for free, which would be kind of interesting in a C5. The only way I think I would play this with a Doctor Doom is in a Cerebro 5 deck. I don't know why you would want to play this. This doesn't even synergize with Doctor Doom.
No, I know. I was reading like comments of some like YouTube videos and people, and I was like, oh, those people don't get what's going on. So I just wanted to just say that.
Yeah.
This probably would be pretty sweet in C5. Actually, this would be awesome in C5.
Yeah, a couple 5s. Yeah.
It's a couple 5. Even with I wouldn't even say the new Black Swan is bad. I think that's pretty fucking sweet to put in a C5 deck.
Yeah, but it's only 3 power.
It's a 2-drop. Who cares? Whatever. You're just all the other 5s.
I like when it says 5 on it. I
guess. Yeah, but it's only 2 cost.
Yeah.
Put it on you and make it buff it or something.
I don't have Hydra Bob, so I can't play C5 right now. But when I do get the Hydra, when he comes back in the cache, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if we can make some shit happen.
Yeah. But I think This is a pretty cool card. I wonder if I wonder what it's like on even like locations that buff stuff too. It'd be pretty awesome. I don't know. This card's gonna be cool. I don't know how good. Do you think he's gonna be good? I don't know how good he's gonna be, honestly.
The problem, okay, so I think just in a vacuum, yes. In a vacuum, yes, this is a fucking good card. But like, what deck am I gonna play him? Like, it's almost like Madam Web, right? Where it's like, well, I got to play her and move. It's like, well, shit, it's a move deck. Now the move deck's pretty good now, thanks to Madam Web and Arana. But like, I thought Madam Web was gonna come and like just break the game and be the best deck in the game. I'm happy she didn't. But like, where am I going to play this guy? Like, I mean, even just with a Forge, it's like really good. Do you play it in Surfer, maybe like a Surfer list? Because you could play Aranya Forge in Surfer, so maybe I don't know, a little something. But then it doesn't get buffed by Surfer.
Even just like even a good cards list, like even a Shuri list, like anything with any little buffer. I don't think it matters. Like you just play him like he's like a nice tempo play, and like he even gets to locations that like you can't get to, right? Like you just fill up the other location and then activate him on the last turn, and you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
You get into that, those locations you can't get into. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. He's in Spotlight caches with White Widow and Scar.
Oh, bangers. Or the first one's a banger anyway. I mean, White
Widow's definitely a banger.
You gotta get White Widow if you don't have her.
Yeah, she's like probably one of the best 2-drops in the game. We'll eventually do a 2-drop tier list. We're talking about it, but maybe next week we will, depending on the OTA. But Scar is okay. He's not like a must-have, I wouldn't say. White Widow is a pretty damn good card to have in your collection if you don't have. And Scarlet Spider, I'm not convinced, but I think it's like in a vacuum a good card. But like you said, I don't know what decks you're gonna put in. Like, it's not gonna beat Hela right now. It's not gonna, But in a good cards list, like I think it's gonna be a good card to have in your collection. Because I think it's going to be doing some, and we're probably missing some crazy shit that it can do. But I think there'll be some wild shit that it can do.
I'm really excited for it. I mean,
I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, this card, I've been skipping a lot of cards in the last couple months so I can load up in September, and this card is one of the reasons why I think it's a like really interesting card, and it just seems really fun to play too. I mean, shipping some like think about this, like it's like a 4/5 Nimrod, right? Like it's in a way, it's you can't keep killing it,
yeah.
But it's like a 1 pop, kind of Nimrod, right? But that's a 4 cost, so think of it that way, right? If it's not something you're interested in, then I mean I definitely am. And yeah, Nova too would be another one with the Surfer list, right? You can play Surfer, Nova, Aranya, and Forge. Maybe who knows? Oh, Gwenpool goes in those lists too.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you can Gwenpool on 4, and then Scarlet, Nova, something like that on 5. Or Scarlet, yeah, you would already have to play the Aranya, but yeah, you'd like Scarlet, Nova on 5.
Yeah, oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be pretty cool next week. Yeah, I don't know where I'll probably just be playing Phoenix Force. Honestly, I'm gonna take this card because it looks cool, but I have no idea.
I didn't even think about Surfer till now, but I mean the Surfer sounds kind of good. I mean all these cards want buffs, like Brood, Absman, Sebastian Shaw, Scarlet Spider. I mean you want to get buffs on all these cards, and I'd probably maybe play Symbiote in there too. So,
well, also like you can Nova too, right? Like Nova kill longer,
yeah.
and then activate after. Yeah. Like you can. You're probably not going to want to forge this card because you're going to want to play something else on 3, like a Brood or something like that. Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah, it would be in an awkward hand where you have to play the Forge on 3 when you don't want to. So yeah, but it's good to have an option anyway.
Yeah, it might be all right. Who knows? Surfer's actually pretty decent in a pretty decent spot right now as well. Another deck we didn't talk about.
It's a good deck. Yeah.
Shit. Well, I'll say no big deal. It's good to be back, man. Good to see you.
Woo!
It doesn't look like I forgot how to do it too much, so it's all right. Let's go. But anything you got to say to the people?
Hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being patient. We had a couple vacations. I went on vacation earlier in the year. Kid went on vacay. Thanks for sticking with us. I just want to say thanks to all the people for listening, man. Honestly, wholesome. I appreciate it. Love you guys and gals and everybody. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Appreciation.
Yeah, no big deal. What a wholesome guy you are. And I will say, like, my work schedule is really, 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 really absolutely insane for the next 17 days I'm working in a row. So, and it's a weird schedule, weird timing. So I don't know if we'll get guests in the next couple weeks, which is fine. I mean, no big deal. We'll hold it down. But yeah, in case people are wondering, we're in talks with some people. It could be pretty fun. Not could be. It will be really fucking fun. But
Yeah.
we have to make the timing work because like I'm doing some crazy shit right now. So, but anyways, hey, thanks a lot for everyone. And peace.